As we get in here, we're going to do a bond update, and you'll notice immediately it's bond 2020. And there's going to be some slides here that if you were around in 2020, that you're going to see and have been repeated here today. We need to first make sure we thank our community for the opportunity and their support of the bond. Without you, we could not do any of this. As well, I want to reach out and say thanks to all of our partners, Plant Moran Real Point, Barton Mallow, all of their subcontractors, our maintenance and operations department, our IT department, all played a heavy role this past summer, as well as the bond and the bond oversight committee. The bond oversight committee again is Trustee Kumar, Trustee Van Gemert, and Trustee Cohen. So today we're going to take a peek at some of our celebrations that we have achieved so far in the 2020 bond, and take a look at our future and what we plan to achieve in the next couple of years. We're going to kind of walk through a reconciliation of sorts. I mentioned we're going to see previous slides that you would have seen a few years ago, and we're going to go kind of step by step through those to see what we have accomplished and what's still on the horizon. As we do, you'll notice there's a number of changes we made, and these changes for the most part are an increase in scope from what the original plans were. Originally, especially in our elementary schools, there was a lot of light to moderate renovations being done. And moving forward, we're going to see major overhauls of all of our elementary classrooms. This is a huge improvement from what we were planning on doing in the first place. As we go through, in the room, if we could hold questions to the end, hopefully I will answer them before you actually have to answer them or ask them. But if not, we'll definitely take care of all your questions by the end of today. Ready to see what we've done? All right. So these are the old slides. This was from 2020, one of the presentations that was, and this is before my time here with the district, that was presented to the community. First off, this is Conant that you're looking at. You can see the colored chart there, where the light green is the light renovations. By light, it was pretty light renovations that would have taken places in those areas. As we move through, you're going to see that we were probably going to be closer to the heavy blue, the darker blue, if not at least the moderate, in all aspects of our building at the elementary levels. You'll notice too that there is a value that was listed on each one of these. I want to keep in mind too that that value is all inclusive, so that was construction, IT costs, FF&E, which is our furniture and equipment funds, that's professional services, permitting, anything associated would have been in that number. Okay, so on the side to the left, and then all these I'm just gonna kind of explain the slide because we're going to skip through them a little bit quicker as we go through. The project list would then be on the left, and then that's going to be repeated then in the subsequent slides. So you can see at Conant, we were able to have we put in our secure vestibules. We have some security upgrades. Yes, we've done the secure vestibule. That's one of our major upgrades there. So that's kind of checked there, but we also have some more coming in the means of security cameras. We added a new multi-purpose room. We've created the STEM and collaboration space there. We've upgraded the media center. We've done some classroom additions, our kindergarten wing, beautiful classrooms. We've reconfigured the parking lot, adding a new bus loop. And then you're going to get into some of our future projects. Over the course of 24 and the summer of 24 and the summer of 25, and we are restricted for the most part in doing work in a matter of 11 weeks. So you listen at some of these projects that we are going to tackle and think about how we're doing that across multiple buildings in one summer over 11 weeks. It is an extremely tight timeline. And so because of that, we have to be very strategic in how we go about doing the classrooms, knowing that we want those to be ready to go come September when students roll in. So we're going to see some classroom architectural improvements. What that means, in our elementaries in 24, you're going to see a lot of what we're calling above the grid. So grid being the ceiling grid. Replacing that in most cases, replacing all the ceiling tiles, replacing the lighting. In 2 of our buildings, we're going to be running the fire suppression, and we're going to take care of everything above the grid, all of our data cabling. All of that's going to be done. And then in the following summer in 25, we'll be then taking care of the remainder of those renovations. So we'll be doing new LVP flooring in our classrooms. We'll be doing new casework in our classrooms, painting our classrooms. So over a span of 2 years, we're going to end up having basically brand new classrooms. Mechanical equipment replacement. We have a couple pieces that we will be doing as we get into the construction aspect of the classrooms that will be replaced as needed in 25. Roof replacement, this was only a patchwork of replacement. Roof replacement long-term will be more addressed through sinking fund. Tech infrastructure, some of our tech infrastructure, audio-visual systems have already been implemented, and we're implementing more over the course of this coming summer. That will include all of our updated classroom technology. So all of our elementary classrooms are going to receive our Clever Touch monitors at the front of the classroom, as well as the accompanying boards that would go up near the front as well. Okay, so they're all going to have brand new classroom tech come September of 24. We'll also have brand new furniture throughout. So both our students and our staffs at the elementaries are going to be getting new furniture in the summer of 24. At Conant, we have completed our sensory room. That is done, as well as our barrier-free playground. For the most part, it's done. We have a few more pieces. Actually, take it back. We are done now. The reason it says 24 is because we actually completed it over the last week or so. So it technically rolled into 24. We were close to being able to say that was completed in 23. And these are some of the pictures we're looking at. There is our elementary classroom, or our kindergarten classroom there on the left, our updated kitchen, and our stage area in our multi-purpose room. Same thing here. This is Way Elementary. Way, similar to Conant, went through a larger overhaul. You can see again these green areas here that are going to become blue. Very similar to Conant. I'm not going to spend as much time, but you can see as you kind of go through, essentially the same things have been completed at Conant as they were at Way. Nothing here is different in those two cases. Same thing going through here. As far as the improvements, again, all of our elementaries are going to be receiving the above grid and furniture replacements and technology this coming year, and then the more extensive construction renovations in the summer of 25. Pictures of Way. Way's exterior looks beautiful now, and I want to thank Jake and his team who have done a lot of work there with the shrubbery and the trees and everything else to make that front look a lot more welcoming. East Hills, and this only says East Hills. We don't have an East Hills anymore. It's now Eastover Elementary. And again, if you look at East Hills, look at how much green we had there. And we're turning that green into, that middle to darker blue. So a lot more renovations that are going to happen there. Eastover is going to be a much larger project, as will Lone Pine this coming summer. At Eastover, in the front, you're going to see a brand new office area that will include a front entry and an art room. So if you are familiar with Eastover, when you walk in that front door, you have a corridor or a hallway immediately to your right. That immediate to your right is going to actually be the office and the art room. The corridor or the hallway is going to be kind of where the principal's office is now. So we're just going to take everything and shift it up towards the front and have the access walking through the back. And we're going to have a brand new, beautiful art room with windows to the outside, a nice big office there to accommodate their staff, as well as the secure entry right in there, and being able to utilize that same entrance that we currently are using. We have done the parking lot and bus loop reconfiguration. We changed that configuration this past school year. And again, a lot of the rest of the changes, similar to the other elementaries. We're going to do the same thing with above the grid, technology. And here we are also going to be adding in the fire suppression system. And then we have completed the barrier-free playground already. And we will be working on our special education suites this summer, including the sensory room. Pictures of Eastover. You can see the new spaces there in the upper right and lower right, our new playground. You can see what it's going to look like again this summer as we rip out all the grid and access up into the ceiling. And then West Hills, which is now Lone Pine. Similar to Eastover, Lone Pine is going to have a very extensive makeover as well. In the front, we are going to have a new secure vestibule. if you can recall where the principal's office is in there, which is that first weirdly shaped octagon, am I right? Octagon shaped room up in the front. That is going to be our secure vestibule, and then all the way down, we're going to have storefront windows. So opening it up, making it much brighter. The next time you go and look at that front, you'll see how dark it is, and it's a lot of that three-sided building. It's like a lot of brick in there. So we're going to open that up. We're going to open up one of the walls. They have a lot of small office spaces in there. So we'll be opening one of those up to make a larger principal's office. We'll be doing more extensive work in that office area, including the flooring, painting in there, as well as furniture. We'll do the same architectural improvements as we've talked about again in the other elementaries, as well as doing the fire suppression system over there at Lone Pine. And we have just completed their barrier-free playgrounds as well. So that's why it says 24, but they are all completed at this point. That can be probably turned green now. In Lone Pine, these were the kindergarten classrooms that we've done. That was the majority of the work that they received this past summer. All right. North Hills, are all familiar with, I think, North and South. We're going to kind of go through what we have completed over there and what we did not complete, or what was scoped out of the construction. Essentially, we've completed everything. We have scoped a couple things out. One was the second floor addition prep. What that was prepping the walls so that it would be able to support a second story level if we wanted to build on in the future. Looking at costs, the determination was made that that was so cost prohibitive to do now through this bond that it was removed. And then the robotic stadium, we weren't able to work into a robotic stadium into North Hills, but we have come up with another solution for that. And then everything else, all of our security upgrades, our roof replacement. Again, roof replacement, there was some new roof, but some just patchwork and fixing. Most of our roof replacements would take place through the sinking fund. Our technology infrastructure is up, audiovisual, all of those going. Both at North and South specifically, our elementaries too that have gone through some construction, but more specifically to North and South. We know it's not 100% ticked off yet. We are still, working through some of our punch list items, and those will be ongoing. Some of those IT items, those could be kind of complicated and may take a little bit of time to complete. But we are addressing all those items as we work through, and we work through with our architects, and we do our punch list walks. So again, some pictures of North Hills. It's the most beautiful high school in the state, and it's a middle school. All right, and then South Hills. Same thing over here at South Hills. We were able to accomplish everything that we had identified in 2020. We have those green check marks on every one of them. And what a beautiful, beautiful middle school. All right. So moving on to the high school. Security upgrades in the high school. Most of those were security cameras, and we have some that have gone in, and we are, as we move through with some of our data implementations, we're replacing those, so that will take place over the next few years. Roof replacement, again, most will be taking place probably through the sinking fund, but we do have a few areas there that were addressed that we'll be looking at in 25. Same thing with the mechanicals. Tech infrastructure, again, we've already started that work. We will be adding in all of our new PA systems and clock systems. That work will actually take place during the school year. We're able to do that work on second shift. And then, so the audio-visual systems will all be completed by 2025. The West Wing, so the G Wing, that work over there will take place in the summer of 25. And then the addition of the weight training room, known as the Wellness Center, that is our large construction project. I'll touch on that a little bit more in a second. Our turf baseball fields and softball fields, we're checking them off as completed. Again, there's a few punch list items that we still have left to complete. And then the concessions restroom upgrades is over 24 and 25, and I'll talk about those in a second as well. So here, first off, are the renderings for our wellness center. So if you can picture where this is, is right toward the edge of the building between where the current building ends, right to the west of the current concession stand, in between the building and the baseball field. We're going to have large glass windows in the wellness center that will overlook the stadium. With this, we have made a few changes. The original plans with the wellness center were to do this but not have anything underneath it. And then out in the south end zone, outside of the stadium complex, the idea originally was to put a concession stand and bathrooms over there. As we walked the property, we realized there's no easy way to get any of our spectators who have paid and gained access into the inside of the stadium out to the concession stand and restrooms if it was located over there. Additionally, all of our utilities would have had to run to Echo Road, which is an extremely long run, and that would have been very expensive and eaten up a lot of our budget just to be able to hook up into utilities. So what we've ended up doing then is taking the team rooms and shifting the team rooms so that they sit underneath the wellness center. They're going to be closer to the field, more accessible for use during halftime. So we're going to do that. We're taking the current concession stand and we're expanding it. So we're widening it up. If you can recall, there's four egress doors to the left of the concession stand. If you're looking at it, we're going to push into that area and then create egress on the other side of that stanchion. So we'll have a much larger concession stand. The concession stand there and the concession stand that we were in the original plans are within about 1.5 feet of difference. So basically about the same footprint that we were originally planning when it was out in the outfield area. And then with the bathrooms that are currently over there, which are really our only bathrooms right now, we're going to be doing an update to those as well. And then the following year, we're going to be doing another project. This project is going to be adding in some restrooms over closer to the home entrance or the home stands. So if you can picture where the ticket booth is, kind of right behind that ticket booth in that hill that kind of walks up to the or leads up to the tennis courts, we're going to be building into the hill a 2-level building. The bottom level will be some much needed storage, a men's restroom, and a women's restroom that we'll be able to use for our home stands so they don't have to walk as far. We will also then on the top have like a team room area that we could use for our tennis teams as well as use during the games if we needed to for like officials. And that'll have an internal bathroom in the team room as well as an external bathroom that can be accessed essentially from that walkway or the sidewalk that leads to the tennis courts. You'd be able to access that toilet room there if you were a spectator at a tennis match, so that you didn't have to either walk into the school or use a porta-john that's out by the softballs. So we're going to be making some much needed improvements there as far as that goes. The last part of that project too will be the entranceway, the gateway into the stadium. For those who have gone and seen high school stadiums across the state, you know that our entry is not really exciting. It's pretty concrete entry into what are really some of the most top of the line athletic facilities in the state. And so we're going to be working on some ideas for what that front will look like, but it'll definitely highlight that we are the Blackhawks, and it'll definitely show that we are very proud of our athletic facilities as folks are walking into those. What we've asked our architect to do today was to get us a couple mock-ups. We've given her a couple ideas of what we want to see, and then we're going to be meeting with a couple groups to kind of get their feedback on which entry they think will be the best. I think I'm going to like the one that actually has the Blackhawk statue on the top. I think that's going to be pretty cool. Our Early Childhood Center, this is the old Eastover, which we are now calling Lumen East. This construction is going on currently. We're building that secure vestibule and then all the improvements throughout the classroom. Some of the flooring will remain. It was in really, really good shape, so we're going to clean that up. Others, all the carpet, we're replacing all the carpet in there, all the lighting in there. We have a lot of mechanical replacements going on, tech infrastructure, furniture, barrier-free playground will all be taking place over this coming year and through the summer with our plans in September of 24. Okay, so this is some of the work that's going on now that they're cleaning up. Blooming West. Blooming West is our new project that we have been talking about. Blooming West is the old Lone Pine, and we are going to maintain Lone Pine building, which was at one point on the site to be demolished. So we are going to keep that building. It's in great shape. Half of that building is going to be our Blooming West. So another child care and preschool center, one on the east side of the district, and one on the west side of the district. Sometimes you drive from the east to the west. The lighting upgrades that will be taking place in there. We're going to be doing a lot. Some of the tech infrastructure. Most of that tech infrastructure will be within the preschool side, and then some furniture replacement over there for preschool. And then on the other half, including the media center, and then help me out, Jake, is at the east side of the building. East side of the building and the media center will become our robotics center. And so we're going to have a home for all of our robotics teams. So all of our high school teams, JV and varsity, our team for the IA, our teams from the middle school, our teams from the elementary school will all have their own dedicated space over there, their own garages, their own shop areas. They will have a kitchen over there that they're able to use for their potluck dinners that they do when they're working their late nights. They will have a full field over there. They could probably get a full field in one of the middle school fields in there into that area. It's going to be a large area for them to be able to build and practice. It's going to be a place that we can be very proud of, that should be able to attract families to our district. I think this is going to end up being a real point of pride for our district, and I think it's a great direction that we're moving. Some of our other buildings throughout the district. What we have done is made a decision to maintain the transportation center where it is. As we've had a number of presentations from Plant Moran, and they've done quite a bit of due diligence going through and looking at potential sites for us. Each of those sites had either they were too expensive. Some of the sites around here were just not attainable for us. They were in locations that would not have solved any of the issues that we were trying to avoid. They were in locations that would not have worked for us. They weren't large enough. So what we ended up doing was making the decision to keep the transportation center where it is, but doing an overhaul of that building, including a new garage area. We needed to extend the bay size, as well as improve our lift system, our bus wash system, and do a new lounge for our wonderful drivers. So that will take place over 2025. We aren't doing the demolition of Lone Pine anymore, so that has been taken off the list. But we will be trying to move up the Fox Hills demolition. That was originally slated for one of our last projects in 26, but we thought we could get that taken down sooner so that we could utilize that green space. We removed the sale of the Franklin Road Maintenance Building, and instead we will do some small renovations into that building so that will become our home for our maintenance and operations. Reasoning behind that is currently we rent space for our maintenance and operations department, so we can take that rental that we've been paying every year and have our own space as opposed to paying somebody else to use their space. That will offer us an opportunity to park some of our vehicles and equipment inside where it's going to be more secure. We have had stuff taken or damaged as we leave it outside because we have no other place to put it. So, from a property perspective, this will help us keep our property safe. All right, over to some others. Nature Center. We'll be looking at doing some security work and infrastructure and tech. Again, it's similar to the high school. Some of this is already ongoing. Others will be completed over the next couple of years. We're working on some plans with Alan Jaros on the physical changes for the rec use, improvement of the trails, the outdoor learning labs. We have already reorganized the farm site plan. We utilized a firm that came in. We had a property management, what do we call that? The long-term property plan for both the Nature Center and Fowler's Farm. So we had a large group of stakeholders that met multiple times, and we have a great plan moving forward. Working on the teaching kitchen, the greenhouses, and the rec equestrian pavilion. Those are all TBD because now that we have our farm site plan and our strategic plan for those facilities, there are different priorities that have risen over some others. So we are kind of looking at those and again working with Mr. Jarls to determine which of these projects we'll be doing the first. IA Wing Lake and Booth. So visitor management systems, we'll be doing that in 25. We've already done our access control and intrusion detection systems. PA systems are in the works or completed. Roof replacements, neither of these were roofs either at the IA or Booth were to be complete roof replacements. So what we have done is both of those roofs were in really bad shape. So we pulled that work up and we utilized our sinking fund. Again, thanks to the community for approving our sinking fund. Two of those most recent projects were Booth and IA. So no longer does Linda Slider have to put plastic over her computer every night. We have fixed that issue. So we can't be more thankful and more pleased. We've lived through the noise this summer and we are happy that we are not having leaks. So, and I'm sure IA feels the same way. Mechanical equipment replacement, again, that's as needed over the next few years. Tech infrastructure, lighting upgrades, paint and refresh. Those were both in specific areas as needed, and we'll be doing that work over the course of summer of 25. And that is the presentation.